Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how to play with insane pinpoint accuracy. Yes. Guys, this is what insane pinpoint accuracy looks like. Actually, it doesn't look like that. Check out the real footage. Yeah. Come on, man. Come on. That stupid target. Come on. So close. So close again. Oh! And guys, insane, massive, extreme, crazy pinpoint accuracy, or any other of the terms that I use to describe how accurate professional tennis players are, is one of the biggest fallacies in tennis. And I want you to remember one sentence: nobody hits the line on purpose. Now, here's one thing that I want you to do. I want you to go on YouTube. I'm going to put a link in my description. And there was a target practice at the Australian Open between Federer and Kyrgios. And there was a big A on the court for Australian and a big O on the court for Open. And these were really, really big targets. I would say they were about this high. And it was first Federer's turn to hit these targets, and then it was Kyrgios' turn. And surprisingly, once you check out this footage, you will see what I mean with my statement that it's a fallacy, the fact that professional tennis players have insane accuracy, because Federer and Kyrgios were missing a ton of targets. Yes, they did hit some, but they also missed a ton of them. I would say they missed more than they made. And we're talking about Federer here, maybe one of the most accurate players of all time. So my point with this video is to describe that aiming in tennis is something that's extremely difficult. Oh! Now, the easiest shot to aim in tennis is the serve, because we are closer to the target. And then it's followed by the overhead, and then by the volleys, and lastly come the ground strokes. And why are the ground strokes so hard to aim? Because over the length of the court is the farthest distance from the contact point until the ball has landed on the other side. So that long distance in the court makes it very difficult to aim. Now, many people believe that Federer is able to hit the ball on the spot exactly where he wants to, but that is not the case. Professional tennis players aim for a general target, and they're really good at doing so. And here's what I mean by big general target. So let's say the player is going cross court. Now, that player will maybe aim for 3 segments of that part of the court. So the first segment might be somewhere around here. So the player might be aiming for a general target about right here. Then we take the second segment, which is going from here to here, and then the third segment of the cross court shot, which is from the middle of the court to here. A player is able to pretty accurately go to each one of those segments. So let me try to demonstrate. I'm going to aim for the first segment, the one closest to the doubles line. Let's see if I can make it. So that was pretty close. Now I'm going to go for the second segment. That was pretty close too, even though I might have missed that one a little bit. And now for the third segment, and I made that one. So that is the general area that players are aiming for. But when it comes to pinpoint accuracy, in other words, hitting the line, for example, that is an absolute impossibility. And the reason I say line shots are always accidental, because players are not aiming for the line. They're actually aiming inside the line. Now, they might be going close to the line, but nobody is aiming directly on the line, because with the speed of the ground strokes over the length of the entire baseline, that is almost impossible to do. Even on the serve, where we have a closer target and aiming is a little bit easier, it's still close to impossible to serve the ball exactly on the line. If the ball happens to come on the line, that is happening by accident. Now, we as players would never admit that. We're going to pump our fist and say, come on, because we deserve to win the point. The ball was in after all, even though we might have been aiming actually more inside the line. Now, why did I make this video? I think it's a very important subject, especially for the recreational level, where players are sometimes trying to be a little bit too accurate. So the biggest target that you can aim for in tennis is the middle of the court. And there's a lot of advantages of trying to go down the middle, especially if you have been missing a lot in your practice or your match. Once you make a lot of shots straight through the middle of the court, now your confidence is going to grow and you can start opening up the court a little bit. Also, when you aim through the middle and you slightly miss-hit the ball, let's say you take it a little bit too early or a little bit too late, now the ball is still going to go inside the court, as opposed to when you aim for the line and you hit the ball a little bit late, that ball is guaranteed to go out. Now, when it comes to going cross court and down the line at the recreational level, I would split the court up in 2 segments on each side, a total of 4 segments. So up to here, we're going to have segment number A. Then from here to the middle of the court, we're going to have segment number B. From the middle of the net to the middle of this side of the court is going to be C, and then this part of the court is going to be D. And I want you to try to aim according to your level. So if you are more of a entry level or even intermediate level player, I want you to stay fairly close to the middle of the court. As your level goes up, now you can start spreading the ball more around the court and going for the segments A and D. However, even at the advanced recreational level, if you're going for A and D and you're missing, now it's time to start getting that ball closer towards the middle and aiming for B and C. And remember, the bigger your target, the better your outcome is going to be, because even at the elite level, when we aim for a big target and when we then miss-hit the ball, which happens all the time to all players, even Roger Federer, we still have the chance for the ball to go in. If we constantly aiming for small targets, that is not sustainable over the course of a long match. Eventually you're going to start making a lot of mistakes because it is impossible to hit small targets over long periods of time. Now how about the serve? Here it's going to be the same thing. If you're an entry level or intermediate player, there's nothing wrong with aiming directly in the middle of the box. And now what's going to happen, sometimes you're going to miss-hit the ball and it's going to start going towards the tee and out wide. Now you don't have to admit this to anyone, but it's going to look like a good serve, but it's a big miss-hit. And you're going to be in great shape, because if you would have aimed for the tee or out wide, you would have definitely missed that serve. Now for the advanced recreational level, I'm going to tell you what the highest percentage serves are. So the highest percentage serve for right-handed players on the do side is going to be the out wide serve. This one is going to have a tendency to go in more than if you're aiming towards the tee. Now this might sound a little weird because the net is a little bit higher out wide, so one would think that going through the middle over the low part of the net would be the high percentage serve, but that is not the case, simply because the length towards the target is a lot longer when we go out wide, and therefore we have a little bit more room for error. The target is closer when we go down the tee. The same goes for right-handed players who like to go up the tee on this side. This is a lower percentage serve than when we go out wide, for the simple reason that the target out wide is a little bit further away and it gives us a tad more room for error. Now this doesn't mean that you should never go down the tee. You definitely should, but you have to calibrate it in such a way where the percentage of your serves that are going wide are a little bit higher than the percentages of your serves that are going through the tee. Also, it highly depends on what type of serve you're attempting. Obviously the flat serve is the one that's going to give you the least percentage. The one that comes after that is the slice serve, and a kick serve is going to be your highest percentage serve. Now what about target practice? Is it a bad idea because we are after all practicing pinpoint accuracy? Not at all. Practicing hitting targets is something that is going to be an excellent way to develop directional control in tennis, and here's the reason why. Number one, you're going to realize how difficult it is to hit one of these targets, but also you're going to have this ambition to hit the target. You're going to have this negative feeling when you don't get the target. You're going to get frustrated. In the meantime, you're going to be hitting a lot of great shots. So the ball might not necessarily hit the target, but it's going to be in a very close vicinity of the target, and you're going to be hitting a lot of great shots in the process. So guys, forget the idea of pinpoint accuracy and select big targets, and you're going to become a better tennis player.